Good day everyone, I am Hikirut Windayong, and this video I am going to talk about the Hebrew literature, specifically the nature of Hebrew language, poetry, and prose, and also the masterpieces of Joe. So first, let's define the Hebrew language. So Hebrew language is a Semitic language in Northern Central, or also known as the Northern Western group. So it is closely related to Phoenician and Moabite, with which it is often placed by the scholars of Canaanite subgroup. So Hebrew language was used by the Palestine in the ancient times, and it was supplanted by the Western dialect of Aramaic beginning about 3rd century BCE. So the language continued to use as a liturgical and literary language, but however, it was revived as a spoken language in 19th to 20th centuries, and now ginahimo siya or gideclare siya as an official language sa Israel. So, and Hebrew language have 4 major periods. So first is the biblical or classical period. So the Hebrew language in biblical or classical period was used until about 300 century BCE, in which most of Hebrew Bible, or yes, the Old Testament, is written by in Hebrew. Second, we have Mishnaic or Rabbinic. So Hebrew, the language of the Mishnah. Mishnah is a collection of Jewish tradition or Jewish laws. It was written about 200 CE. So this form of Hebrew was never used as a spoken language among Mishnah people. Third, we have medieval Hebrew. So from about 6th to the 13th century CE, when many words were borrowed from Greek, Spanish, Arabic, and other languages. And lastly is the modern Hebrew. So the language of Israel in modern times, like what I said earlier, Hebrew is declared siya as official language of Israel. So generally, ang mga scholar is nag-agree pud sila nga ang pinaka-oldest nga language in Bible is the Hebrew. Example niya is kanang sa Song of Deborah in Judge chapter 5. So now we're done talking about the Hebrew language. Let's proceed to the Hebrew poetry. So what is Hebrew poetry? So Hebrew poetry, or the Hebrew Bible, contains a wide variety of writing styles. So it categorized generally with two terms. First is the poetry, and the other one is the prose. So while the distinction between these two is sometimes blurred, but still it is generally reckoned that at least 50% of the Old Testament is in the form of poetry. So we have 3 types of Hebrew poetry. First is the lyrical poetry. So lyrical poetry is a poetry associated with singing. Yes. It is highly prominent in expressing personal thoughts, experiences, and emotions. Like for example, the song that is composed by Miriam, the victory song rather, mabasa siya sa Exodus 15 verse 1 to 21. So monang time nga they were delivered from the annihilation of Egyptian. And the second one is the lament song of David. Mabasa po siya sa 2 Samuel 1 verse 17 to 27. So mo na nga time nga si David is nabalaan niya nga patay na si patay na si Saul o si Jonathan. So, third, we have prophetic poetry. So, prophetic poetry utilizes vivid imagery and symbolic language rather. So, it includes threats, judgments, laments, salvation, visions, and yes. And usually, pag kasagaran mga example sa prophetic poetry is sa writing ni Isaiah, na makita po siya sa kang Micah, naapod siya sa Psalms. Now we're done with the types of poetry and the definition of Hebrew poetry. So now let's proceed to the main features of poetry. So we all know that poetry, pag wintag poetry, gagamit gyud ta og mga figurative language, tama ba? Yes. Like for example, mga metaphor, mga simile, mga onomatopoeia, mga literary devices, di ba? So, doon na siya nga to, but ang main feature or ang three main features of Hebrew poetry is una, parallelism. So, when we say parallelism, it is the repetition of idea using different but similar terms. For example, in Psalm 27 verse 1 to 3, kanadra ang mga verses, if makakuan mo, tanawa na lang ninyo, is verse 1 and 3 is same na sila og kanang gigamit nga parallelism, types of parallelism, rather it's synonymous parallelism. And in verse 2 is antithetical parallelism. So, second, we have condensed language. So, when we say condensed, is mga pinaikli, di ba? Mga pa-shorten, ana. So, condensed language is a minimal use of words to express idea, often omitting conjunction articles and relative pronouns. Ellipsis or gapping is common. So, di biyata yun yung makakita og mga conjunction sa mga poetry. Samot na sa Hebrew poetry. Kay kasagaran nilang dili kaayo magamit is ang word nga and. Yes. And. So, last we have the use of imagery. So, Hebrew poetry frequent use of similes and metaphors to create vivid words picture. Like for example, in Psalms 1 and Psalm 18 verse 2. So now that we're done with the types of poetry and its main features, let's proceed to Hebrew prose. So what is prose? Prose is a non-poetic writing in Hebrew. So it includes novels, short stories, essays, and other narrative or expository forms. So it follows regular grammar and syntax rules and allows for a wide range of topics and themes in Hebrew literature. Mo ang difference nila ni poetry, because si poetry is gagamit siya og mga literary devices or sa kwan pa mga sugarcoating words, di ba? While si prose naman is dili siya magamit og ana, ipangalanan nato si prose as straight forward. Walay mga sugarcoating nga panghitabo, walay mga pabulaklak na mga salita. Kuan siya kanang fact na fact. So, kunay types of poetry, na po types of prose. So, first is narrative prose. So, it focuses on storytelling and providing information about events. Like for example is the Torah. So, ang the Torah it is the first 5 books in the Hebrew Bible. So, if ako na sa iyo, gikan na siya sa Genesis to Deuteronomy. And if yun ang basahon dira ang part is makita niyo nga puros mong siya mga events in life, diba? Creation. Oh, yes. And second, we have prophecy. So, prophecy prose, it conveys messages from God. So, ganina nag-example na ako ang writing ni Isaiah as the poetic ay prophecy poetry, di ba? But usually, matawag ang writing na Isaiah as prophecy prose or prose. Yan na siya. Okay, third, we have wisdom literature. So, it employs proverbs, sayings, poems, and stories. Like, for example, is Book of Proverbs. Yes. And last is the Midrash. So, Midrash, it comprises interpretations and elaborations on biblical text. More than discussing the nature of Hebrew language, prose, and poetry. So now let's move on to the masterpieces of Jews. So Jewish masterpieces encompass a broad range of artistic and literary works that reflect the rich cultural heritage and historical experiences of Jewish communities. So, during that time, nagan sila yung mga famous works na, but nag-cite lang ko 5. So, first we have the Talmud. So, the Talmud emerged in the 1st century CE. Talmud compiling a rabbinic teaching. So, it comprises the Mishnah. Mishnah is the Jewish laws. And Gemara is the commentaries on Mishnah. So, the Talmud has 2 main versions. First is the Jerusalem Talmud, which is called as Yerushalmi. And second is the Babylonian Talmud, which is called as Bavli. So, next we have the Night. So, Night is written by Elie Wiesel, and it was published in the year of 1956. So, the novel, namely Night, it is the Wiesel account of his experiences in Nazi during World War II. So it explores the theme of faith, humanity, and survival. So next we have the Diary of Young Girl by Anne Frank. So it was written also during the World War II, no? So Anne's writing revealed the thoughts and emotion of a young girl who went hiding. So, a little background about nila is kaning A Diary of a Young Girl is a Jewish girl. Is a Jewish young girl nga nagtago together with her family. Kay kato nga mga time during Nazis, during sa World War II, is grabe ang mga violence, diba? So, kutob sa makita is derok. So, that is why tago-tago ng tago. So, fourth, we have The Chosen by Chaim Potok, or Potok. He's a friend. Okay, so the story unfolds in Brooklyn from 1944 to 1950. So, The Chosen, it was the story of 2 teenagers from different religious backgrounds and became close friends. So, the novel explored faith, friendship, and complexities of Jewish identity. So, lastly, we have Marc Chagall. So, Marc Chagall is a master of color and symbolism. So, Chagall's works blends elements of Cubism and Surrealism. So, Chagall's use of bold and dreamlike color is a hallmark of his artistic style. So, his paintings often incorporate Jewish folklore, biblical scenes, and personal memories. So, mo to siya ang mga famous works or mga masterpieces of Jews. So, remember, daghan pa siya, but I only cited 5. And I think that would be all. Thank you.